had been willing to follow Betsy's lead as they explored the city rooftops and climbed trees in the elm gardens, and Betsy had decided that she must be both brave and worth knowing. Though Betsy had intended to say thank you just that one time, they were soon calling for Effie 3 or 4 nights a week. Always they found her ready for adventure. But everything is different now, since the shadows shifted. What Betsy has planned would be more than mischief. It would mean breaking the law. Teddy turns off Inker Street and onto Holloway Road, strides past the Duke's Theatre, and continues down through narrowing streets towards the water. The cold is biting, though there is not a wheeze of wind tonight. Even the clouds, ragged ropes of mauve and indigo, do not scud across the shivering sky. Teddy wishes he possessed a fine pair of gloves, but he has only those he must use on the river, to lift the heavy crates off the barges and stack them onto the waiting cart, ready to be transported to cellar doors and servants' entrances and backyards across Copperwell. Made from undyed leather and held together with thick black stitching, the gloves reveal him to anyone who cares to look as a canal worker. And Teddy does not want to be a canal worker forever. He wants to be... He is too embarrassed to utter it, even to Betsy, who would well understand. But what he wants most is to find the bravery to become an explorer, to hike and sail and fly and swim through all the world's wildest places, to spark fires on cliff tops and sleep under the stars, to climb trees and balance in branches higher than Copperwell's tallest buildings. In his every imagining, he sees himself beneath the marbled silver-blue gleam of the moon. He is surprised by how completely living in darkness has transformed the landscape of his dreams. He leaves behind that part of the city where table lamps light the windows of gentlemen's clubs and gambling dens, and enters those streets where naked flames gutter inside soup kitchens and soap works. Wealth enters the city by the canal, but it does not linger there. While the rest of Copperwell is overwhelmed by the snug scent of burning wood or coal rising out of chimney stacks, the air along the canal smells dank and stagnant and claggy. Stinking green algae slimes the planks of the jetties the fishermen have built over the water. The cart horses leave piles of dung on the towpath to be kicked into the water, or trodden flat, or stepped around until they stale to crust and crumble away. Still, Teddy loves the horses, the warm white plumes of their snorts, their soft bristled noses, their big calm eyes. Often he puts his hand to the smooth heat of their necks and breathes in their grassy spoor. When Teddy was a little lad, his father had driven cabs, and Teddy remembers the slumberous weight of the horses as he helped stable them each night, his father's tuneless whistling as he set about brushing them down, that quiet time spent together in the candlelit dark. He remembers, too, his father's dream of going off in search of the oar, the fabled golden horse which had once roamed all the wild parts of the world, galloping over Russian plains and wandering the Peruvian mountains, until people saw its gleaming coat and coveted it, and the oar was forced to turn and flee. Before blowing out his candle each night, Edward would sit at the foot of his son's bed and recount the latest rumoured sightings of the horse. Cantering along a pure white beach in Constantinople, stepping off a crag of the Cymru coast into the spumy sea, climbing into the hills above Algiers. And Teddy would carefully memorise the words, determined that one day he would help his father find the beast. "What will you do with the oar?" he had asked early on, after perhaps the second or third of his father's storings. "If you find one?" "I will look at it," Edward had replied quietly, "and I will see it, and then I will return home and never tell a single soul about it." It had taken